How you doing?
Good.
So I want to ask you about a film like this. When you take on and produce a film like Mortal Engines from book series, knowing that there's 4, are you committed for the long term, or are you just checking it out?
You know what? This film had to work standalone. Like
Yeah.
we knew that from the beginning because it's completely different. It's unproven. It's going to have to find its audience.
Right.
If it does find its audience, and I think it will, and people fall into the world and fall in love with those characters, well, then the good news is there's another, 3 books in the series, and they just keep getting better.
Now, your production team brought Christopher up the ranks, moved him into, and he kind of gets overshadowed by Peter Jackson's name. Everyone says this is a Peter Jackson film, but how is it working with him? He's has some experience with film, but this is a big project for him. What puts your faith in him?
The thing with Christian is that we've worked with him for 25 years. I've known him and admired what him, especially as a visual storyteller. He did a masterful job of bringing King Kong to life. He won an Oscar for it, along with, of course, played by Andy Serkis. But, what was really important was that you could get a director who wasn't going to be daunted or feel threatened or overshadowed by Peter Jackson. And that's why Christian was perfect for this, because he's his own person. He has a different style. He shoots in a different way. But he's very similar to Pete in that it's all about the work.
Is there ever any apprehension, though, putting this big of a budget film in someone new like that?
I wasn't worried about it personally because we were going to be there. That was a commitment we made to the studio that we were going to be there. But I also had seen a short film that Christian had directed. It's a really cool little one called Feeder. It's weird. It's brilliant. What it told me is that he can tell a very complicated piece of storytelling incredibly visually. And I got excited because it felt original, and I knew that this was original. And I also, what I like about him is any great artist or anybody who steps up and takes on the mantle, certainly of being a film director, you got to have passion for what you're doing. You really do. You can't be doing it for a paycheck or anything else.
Speaking of passion, the original author of the series has to be pretty passionate about his work.
Yes.
And you worked on the screenplay as well, correct?
Yes.
Was there any relationship or tension between what you did with the screenplay and where he was with the book?
Philip Reeve, who's the author of these books, he could not have been more collaborative, nicer guy to work with. He came from illustration, so he's incredibly visual. He cared a lot about how the world was going to look, but he knew that we were going to have to change things in order to make it into a movie.
Yeah.
So, he knew that, and he trusted us, which was great.
Now, your team sticks together. You guys have worked together for quite some time now.
Yeah.
Is there any truth to the rumor that you might be helping Amazon out with the Lord of the Rings that they're doing over there?
You know what? It's interesting. I'm kind of leaving that to Pete. I know that they have been talking with him, but for myself as a writer, I was really thrilled when I saw who they'd brought on to do the adaptation. I think it needs a fresh take. You can just it needs that reinvigorating that I think the energy of these young guys is going to bring to it, and I with the best will in the world couldn't have done it.